Welcome to BeerAmerican.tv. For those of you finding us for the first time, welcome. For those of you who have been coming back religiously, welcome back. I'm Paul Leone with
John
Pinkerton, and we are in the theme of pumpkins. But in this case, not really, because we are in the theme of punkin, not pumpkin, but Dogfish Head's Punkin Ale. And I chose this beer because it's actually wildly popular. I mean, it shouldn't be a surprise. I mean, Sam Calagione brews wonderful beers all around, and there's a lot of great brewers around the country that brew really fantastic stuff. But the Punkin Ale seems to have really taken off, and so I thought, you know what, let me bring it to the table. I don't know if have you had this beer before?
I have not.
You have not? Good.
No,
So
I've had a bunch of Sam's beers, but this is not one of them.
So the Punkin Ale, I've had once before, and I enjoyed it. So I thought I'd bring it to John. And staying with the theme of pumpkins as we have in the last few days, here we are.
All right, let's do this.
Let's do this. It's like we're going into a fight or something. We're gonna, and we're not rating beers. For those of you who are not, who are new to the site, John and I don't say, oh, this is a good beer, this is a bad beer. Basically, we try them and try to give you our honest opinion of what we think of them. But, you know, we want to promote the craft beer industry in all of its forms. And, you know, taste is subjective, as you pointed out to me when we first started this thing. You know, I mean, what I might like, you might not, and you might not.
Incredibly subjective.
And so, so we're not here to rate beers, but I can tell you the pumpkin beer is kind of a unique seasonal category.
Indeed.
And they're all different, as we're finding out. So the Punkin Ale by Dogfish Head is one that's really caught fire in a lot of places. And as Sam and as Dogfish grows, you're able to get this beer pretty much anywhere. So, I don't know, what do you smell right off the bat?
A lot of spice. I'm getting a little hint of booze.
See, now I get that. See, my amateur my amateur palate, or my average guy palate, as I should call it, I definitely smell the booziness, and that's not a bad thing. I don't smell the spicy so much. I guess I would expect to smell, when you say spicy, just something that bites a little bit. But
well, first of all, at 7%, as it's built here, wouldn't expect it to be incredibly boozy, but my gut instinct, just the fact that it comes from Dogfish Head. I mean, those guys brew big beers.
Yeah, right. And Extreme Brewing fits what they do extremely well, and they're not afraid. And whenever you have a Dogfish beer, and you know, I don't love them all, but I love a lot of them, and they're big and they're unique, and that's the one thing you get with a Dogfish beer is definitely something that you've probably never had before, and this is certainly the case here. I mean,
does it have molasses in it?
It says brown sugar, allspice, cinnamon, and nutmeg.
Yeah, there's a nice little, almost like burnt caramel, burnt sugar kind of thing. There's a little touch of that. Maybe that comes from the brown sugar. I mean, of course, brown sugar is actually refined cane sugar, like white sugar, that molasses has been added back to. So when you use brown sugar, you're actually getting a little bit of that molasses in there. But it's not so much molasses as much as like this nice little like high caramel note. Like when have you ever made candy at home?
Yeah, I get that. That caramel. It's like it's kind of not a thickness, but it's sort of, I get that a little bit. Like I don't know, the sweetness. I definitely, now that you say it, I taste it. But it's to me. And again, but I'm not getting strong pumpkin. It's not like a pumpkin pie taste. I'm not getting any of that. And as the other ones that we've tried, I've said before that, you know, I mean, not all of them taste like you're eating a pumpkin pie. They all are very unique.
Yeah, perhaps what we've got is maybe some like chocolate malt notes or something here. There might be some darker malt notes here. It seems like most of the pumpkin beers we've tried so far, just in my taste, what I'm tasting is that they're starting with a fairly clean base, or fairly neutral base, maybe, you know, leaning towards the malty side, leaning towards the sweeter, fuller-bodied side. But I'm just going to venture to guess there might be some dark malts here.
Yeah.
There's a little touch of roasty something or other there. Yeah, this one kind of leans more towards the gingerbread house kind of flavor there.
Yeah.
As well. I haven't had any so far that like really to me just nailed like pumpkin pie.
No, I haven't. And I've had beers before, and unfortunately, I was going to do this beer, but Shipyard from Maine in Portland, and they that was the beer I had. It tasted like eating a pumpkin pie, and I loved it thoroughly. And they had it here in Savannah, and it's gone, and I can't get it anymore. And that's the problem sometimes with seasonal beers is that there's a short run. Sam only brews this once a year, as with most of them. And through September, through November, and then they're gone. You got to wait till next year. So, if you have a favorite pumpkin beer, if you like it, if it's at your store, get it quick because that's it. I mean, they're not brewing it year round. Nobody's brewing these things year round. I wouldn't think this would be a good summertime beer anyway. I mean, it seems like it's brewed a pumpkin ale for the little bit cooler weather, the food that it can be paired with, the seasonal type foods.
I think just by virtue of the fact that it's so aesthetically tied to pumpkin pie. I mean, if you put a sweet potato or pumpkin pie down in front of me any time of the year, I'm gonna eat it. But having said that, most people just we get in we have our grooves. We've been fed cranberry sauce at Thanksgiving our entire lives, and it's just who eats cranberry sauce outside of Thanksgiving?
Yeah, and I don't.
Same thing goes here. I mean, I think I already said it once before, but I'm not really that crazy about the spice, like the pumpkin pie beers in general, or the spices in the beer. That's just my own personal thing. It's not a diss on the beers at all, but if you gave this to me in any other time of year, I probably wouldn't even consider drinking it.
No, and that's what makes these beers unique as well.
But we are kind of getting in the mood.
Yeah.
I mean, the pumpkin is kind of putting me in the mood.
Okay, well,
if you know what I'm saying.
I don't want to go there. No, and I have to. Every once in a while, I like to try to bring Greg in because in our other job, the other TV show that we do, Farmer's Almanac TV on PBS, we plug. Greg and I actually made a long trip out of the way to go to Dogfish Head to drink their beers. So Greg is familiar with Dogfish beers. Greg, would you like to try some? All right, Greg, everybody. Our cameraman, helper, sound man extraordinaire.
This is the money shot right here.
Gentlemen.
So, have you had the pumpkin ale?
I don't think so.
Well, there you go.
I'm a punk man.
Well, and this will suit you fine.
So what I want to know when you taste it, go ahead. I don't want to bias your opinion.
Don't skew me.
Go ahead. Throw
Knock
it
it
down.
back. Is it seditiously campy?
Am I ever going to live that down?
Probably not.
Does it remind you of, now having been to Dogfish and tried a lot of his beers, do you get the same feeling I do about, the extremeness of like his beers?
Totally.
Is it poignantly adroit?
God, you took the words right out of my mouth. I'm ruined. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Sorry.
Go back to work. So anyway, it's Dogfish Head's Punkin Ale. And actually, I don't know if it helps or hurts. It probably helped it a lot. Rachel Ray picked this as the best pumpkin ale in the world in one of her magazines. And so to get that kind of plug.
She likes Triscuits.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Dogfish Head hadn't jumped on that and put her on the label.
Yeah, they get a lot of press. I'll tell you what, the Dogfish does. But anyway, so give it a try. I think that you could probably find it in your area as well. And so give it a shot. And if you have any questions or comments about what we're doing here at BeerAmerica.tv, you can email me at paul@BeerAmerica.tv or...
What are we doing?
Emailing each other in case somebody wants to email you.
Oh,
unless you had some other comment about the beer.
No.
Are you sure you don't? I don't want to cut you off because you're the authority figure.
I wasn't sure
here,
what we were doing.
No, we're signing off. So pink at BeerAmerica.tv. And so there you go. So we're continuing with the pumpkin theme, or in this case, punkin. Thanks for joining us at BeerAmerica.tv. Cheers. Cheers, Greg.
Cheers to you, sir.
Cheers to you, sir.